Hello, hello. Happy Sunday, everyone. If you're tuning in for the very first time, my name is Kim Dent. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I've been a demonstrator for 24 years. I live in Maryland Heights, Missouri, and I love teaching stampers and crafters how to make quick, easy, and adorable greeting cards. If you found me on my YouTube channel, Stamping with Kim Dent, please say hello. I love to find out where everyone is viewing from. Also, if you would be so kind to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and here's a new one. If you would be so kind to share my video, I would greatly appreciate it. Hello, hello, everyone. It is a hot one again back in St. Louis, Missouri. So it was a good day to stay in all afternoon and stamp. If you know me very well, I am an indoor girl, especially when it's really hot or really cold. Yeah, so I am happy to be down here where it's nice and cool. I had my team meeting yesterday, and so there was about, I think there was 14 of us that gathered from my team, and we stamped and we swapped and we had a good time together. So I have some of those swaps that I'm going to show you in just a second, as soon as we get a few more tuning in. If you are not catching this video live on Facebook and you're watching it on the replay, please comment #replay and let me know if you like the card that I make tonight. So hello, hello, hello Brenda, hello Mary. Let me see, I'm going to go ahead and sync my laptop. I hope everyone has had a good weekend. Did anybody stamp? Brenda, did you stamp this weekend? Beside the team meeting? Okay, here we go. I'm going to try to click this. Weekend? Almost. Almost. Oh, hi. Lots of girls going past. Joanna, hi. Mary, and both Marys are here. You guys seem to tune in just right about the same time. And Brenda, and who went up first? Let me see. Was that Vicki? No, Sandy. Hi, Lynn. Oh my goodness. Val, are you back? From your great adventure? I can't wait to hear about it. All right, I'm all synced up. I'm going to swing my laptop over to the side and then we will get started. Hold on just one sec. Let me scooch this over just a bit. All right, here we go. This, for those of you who have just found me recently, my name is Kim Dent. This is my website. If you would like to find out more about me and when I hold in-person classes, this is my website. You can also see our catalogs there and Stampin' Up, the latest and greatest from Stampin' Up, the promotions. This is where you can find them. Also on my Facebook group. If you have questions about tonight's video, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube, this is my email address. Feel free to email me if you have questions. If you also like to place an order, this is where you can go to my online store and you would click on the shop button. And to all of you who placed orders during our free shipping promotion this past week, thank you, thank you, thank you. It was a good week, and so I know some of you are watching, so I just want to let you know how much I greatly appreciate you. All right. Our theme for this month was suggested by Brenda, who's watching tonight. And so it was Thanksgiving or fall. So I'm so proud of the girls that joined. Some of them joined every single month. This one is from Roberta, and she is watching. Do you not love these colors? I am in love with this. And this is from, oh my goodness, I had it on the tip of my tongue and now it's always all about autumn. Whew. So for us, you know, if you know me, you know that where I hold stamp classes, We have a delightful coffee shop, so I always think of Higher Grounds when I see this stamp set. And then Roberta cut out Pumpkin Season, and this is a fun fold card. This is the DSP Timeless Plaid, which is so pretty, and I just love, that's Pretty Peacock, and that would be like Cajun Craze, and a little bit of basic beige over here. So cute. Look at all the details. Isn't it adorable? And these, I believe, are perennial postage. Look at that little cinnamon stick right there. So stinking cute, Roberta. This one was made, another one, all about autumn. This is Kelly to Shannon's card. And this one has donuts as well as, and pumpkin pie, as well as the fancy drink. This is my kind of drink, and I do love pumpkin, so I am one of those people. I can't wait for pumpkin season to come around. And then look at what she put. Knowing you brings joy to my heart. Isn't that sweet? So love this card. Thank you. That's Crumb Cake, Early Espresso, Calypso Coral, and I think a little bit of pumpkin pie and Cajun Craze. Look, she's got the whipped cream on top. That stamp and die set is just so good. And then this is from Celine Geerling, and she used this adorable little die as part of the set along with the pumpkin pie, and then she stamped Fall and Pie. That's from the stamp set. This is a retired stamp set, and right now the words are leaving me, but it's a good one because you can, I can't think of the name of it now. You could mix and match all sorts of different words. And this, I think, is the only one that I can think of that we had that has that Happy Thanksgiving. So this is also a fun fold. And look at 3 little pumpkins. This one is from Brenda Marshall, who's watching tonight. She used the Banners dies, which I have and I have not used yet. And so I was thinking, this shape we would turn into a traditional banner, but we're seeing more and more, along with Brenda, using the banner die as a card. Isn't that adorable? And then I left Brenda's notes because I knew she used the stamp set Courage and Faith, Paper Pumpkin Circle of Seasons, which that's a new one. The banner dies, and then her colors are Crushed Curry, Copper Clay, Early Espresso, Wild Wheat, and White. And Early Espresso, did I say that? Isn't that pretty? So pretty. So very pretty. This one was mine, and this is just a carbon copy of a card that a dear demonstrator, her name is Shelley Godby. She goes by Stamping Smiles. She put this card together. I didn't think I needed another leaf set, and I saw this card, and I'm like hopping online and placing my order. This is another piece. This is a new pack of DSP, and right now, girls, I can't think of it. Woven Textures, maybe, but doesn't that she used a different piece on hers, and I didn't have the same DSP, so I pulled in this one because it has Cajun Craze and Early Espresso, and then look. Her accent color, Pretty Peacock and Cajun Craze. Who knew those two colors would look so good together? And then that's Crumb Cake. I colored our pearls, our regular iridescent pearls. I colored those with my dark Pretty Peacock blend. And that's another wonderful thing about our blends is that you can color alcohol markers you can use with non-porous products, and it doesn't smear, and it stays, and it dries really quick. So also I love these words. Hello, sweet friend. You can use that on so many things. And then the last card is Lynn Zerbe's, and this is such a pretty card. I said, here's another one. I don't have anyone that I could think of that I would need this tractor set. And then I see a card like this from Lynn Zerbe, and I'm like, I think I got to order it. This is a slimline card. And then Lynn, I think, this was, I think, an envelope. Look how pretty it coordinates. That I think we used to sell these slimline envelopes. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lynn. And 2 of us that were standing there, I think I'm going to try to find a frame for this and put it like on my mantle. Isn't that gorgeous? So this is Tractor and Company. And then is it, let's see, Lynn. Tractor and Company. Oh, More Than Autumn. Was I calling it something else? More Than Autumn is the name of that stamp set the girls used on their cards. So that's where the Hello Fall is from. But gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. If you would be so kind to show some hearts or some likes when you see something that you like, that helps my algorithm on Facebook, and I greatly appreciate it. So if you would just click that heart or like or thumbs up or something like that, I would greatly appreciate it. So anyway, isn't that stinking cute? Stinking cute. All right, those are from my very talented team members, and I'm so very proud of them. And one of my favorite parts about my meetings is the swapping part. I go away every month with a stack of cards that I not only get to use, but I also get to share with all of you. So tonight's card, this is called a corner tuck fold card. This is a really easy card to make. It is with a bundle that is called, let's see, is it called Pretty Florals? It coordinates with this stamp set, which I've used so much. And then it has a coordinating die set and DSP. So this one, I used the die set to cut this out. Very little stamping, just the thinking of you, which is from the right words. And then You've Been on My Mind is from a stamp set. I'll show you here in a second. Beautiful Motifs. So that's where the You've Been on My Mind came from. This is in the annual catalog, as well as this one. On this one, I just decided to, let me pull this a little closer. I just decided to use, this was my original idea, to cut out DSP. So the DSP is fantastic. And that's just fussy cut. That is just, there's no dies on this one. Dies, obviously. So I want to show you the paper first. This is, I get them so confused. We have Florals and Blooms and Floral Impressions. So this is, let's see, which one is this? Florals and Bloom? Florals and Bloom. This is Florals and Bloom. The coordinating colors are Bubble Bath, Cloud Cover, Darling Duckling, Garden Green. There you can see that's where I cut that out. Let's see what else. Granny Apple Green, Peach Pie, Petunia Pop, Pretty in Pink, Secret Sea. There's another, that's that pattern. I always go for the dark colors when it's that Secret Sea for masculine cards. Shy Shamrock, Strawberry Slush, Summer Splash, and Timid Tiger. These are the... There's also, we used, if you were at my stamp classes last week, there's another piece that coordinates with this one, same pattern, except it's in the purples. And so I used it all up. I have nothing. I have nothing to show you. And then let's see this last one. So you know me, I love the florals. Oh, we showed you that one already. The piece of this piece, this corner tuck piece, that is done with Impressions of Bloom. And that's where the other floral that we have, I wish they would have named it something a little bit different. But this piece is where I cut, so it's two different packs. I wanted something small, like a small purpley piece, and the Florals in Bloom did not. It had one, but I wasn't happy about the pattern. So I just thought this went better, and so we're using two different packs tonight. So the Pretty Florals Suite also has another stamp set and die set. This is called the Sweet Blooms, and this has great words in it, also great dies with it. The die set that I'm using tonight is a big one. It has 15 pieces in it. So the Pretty Floral dies, which I used to cut out this flower. Let's see, is it in here? Oh no, it's not in here. So if you love flowers, this is a great die set to have. And let's see, Pretty Florals is in the annual catalog. Yeah, I got that right. Yeah, that is in the annual catalog. So just try to point that out. I'm trying to be better about telling you, like, is it online or is it in the annual catalog? The right words, this I've used so much. This is in the annual catalog, and there's that thinking of you, but just wonderful, wonderful words. I love it that you've got this is kind of a fun, cheery, happy birthday, but then you also get forever loved, forever remembered. I think you could possibly use this as a sympathy card, but it also would make a great wedding card. I had originally, I cut out, let's see if I can find it. If you want it to, I don't know that it's necessary, but if you wanted to do sympathy, like, you could make it darker. So that's a Blackberry Bliss for the solid part, and then a Fresh Freesia for the detail line. So I'm going to pull out the kit and we will get started. This is quick and easy. So we're going to need a piece of, this is a little different for a card base. This is Blackberry Bliss. It is 4 1/4 by 8, and you score it at 2.5. And then you need a piece, here's that Floral Impressions, 3 by 3, and I'll show you how to cut that diagonally. You need a piece of Florals in Bloom. This is 2 1/4 by 4. Let's see. This is what I use to cut the flower out. So, or no, I'm sorry, the detail line. So this skinny piece right here, that's 2 1/4 by 2 3/4. You need another piece of Blackberry Bliss 3 by 3, and that's to do another corner cut, diagonal cut. These are for my leaves, 3.5 by 3.5. You need a piece of Freesia, Fresh Freesia, 3 by 3, and this is our layers. Freesia 3 by 3, Blackberry Bliss 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. So this is going to go on top of this. And then you need a piece of white, basic white, 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. You need 2 of those because we're going to use one on the outside and one on the inside. And then, oh, this is for the flower, 2.5 by 3. And, oh, I did that twice. Did that twice. We don't need 2 of them. All right. So I'm going to bring in my bone folder. So I got this idea. I was watching Susan Campfield, which also, let's see, what does she go by? Stampfield? Susan Stampfield? It's something like that. And she was doing this corner tuck fold with, I'm trying to think what stamp set. Oh, she used Gallery Blooms. And it was beautiful. Beautiful. That was one of those I didn't think I needed. It's in the annual catalog. I have used it so much. It's just a very elegant stamp set and real easy to use. So there's our first piece. Let's see, our next piece, I'm going to show you, let's see, I'll set this aside. I'm going to show you, I'll bring in my trimmer and my scorer, this staple in my stamp room. So for the corner piece, to do the corner tuck, I'm going to first take my Blackberry Bliss piece. It's 3 by 3, and how we're going to cut it on the diagonal. So all I have to do is I'm going to take it and line it up. The points are going to line up. I hope you can see that. Let's see if I can go lower. Nope, that's as low as my camera goes. In the corner, or in the channel, we call it. I call it. Somebody gave me that idea. Where the blade lays down. And so each of my points are there, and you never want to start like don't take your blade from a corner like this, because more than likely what happens is it like ripples and ruins your cardstock or your DSP. So I like to somebody told me start in the middle. I think this is really smart. And that's how you get those nice crisp points. so I can save this one for a second card, which I know I'm going to use. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the Floral Impressions DSP. Now this one, and this is, let's see. Ooh, let me cut it down a little. Looks like I didn't quite get 3x3 on there. Okay, I really, and it's I don't know what to call it. It's because I have trouble with my little brain. I really wanted, see that little pattern there? I wanted those stripes to go vertically and not horizontally. I could not figure it out. So if anybody has a tip on how to do that, I don't know. I tried cutting it a bunch of different ways. And so we're going to do the same thing. This is, this piece of DSP gets layered directly onto that Blackberry Bliss piece. So started from the middle and went down and then went back up. So there's that. I'm going to lay this second triangle to the side. And then I think I'm done with the trimmer. And I'm going to bring in, the next thing we're going to do is, I'm just going to take, and I'm going to bring in my, what do we call this? Precision, or no, what is this called? It's made by My Sweet Petunia. Oh, can't think of the name of it. It's my glue that I love using. And I'm just going to, oops, got a little blob there, put a little bit on there. And I'm not going too close to the edge because I don't want it to squirt out. And I'm going to line it up exactly. And this just makes that top corner tuck piece a little bit more stable. That's why it's the exact same size. And then here's the magic, how to make it a corner tuck. I'm bringing in my dimensionals, and you just need 3. We're gonna make sure we're gonna just put them in the corners, so each of the points, and get it as close to the corners as you can. We want to leave this spot open because that's going to allow that piece to tuck in. Does that make sense? And then, move this out of the way, I'm going to line it up as best I can. I got to pull it towards me with the very top and the sides. This is just a fun little fold, nothing fancy about it. So there's where we've got that space to tuck in that piece. All right, I've used my Garden Green, my Fresh Freesia, and my Blackberry Bliss, and I've already cut out those pieces for you, so you don't have to watch me do that. And let's see, let's stamp first. Bring in one of our, oh, I know, we're going to layer this first because I want to show you it's smart to get this all set up. Sorry, I'm jumping around. Okay, I'm also going to use my glue on this. Because this is such a skinny little layer, to get it lined up, if I would use my Stampin' Seal and it would be off, it would pretty much be stuck and I'd have to pry it up. But because I'm using the glue, I can slide it and move it around just to get it layered just like I want to have even corners or even an even layer all the way around. So there's that. And then I'm not going to glue this down next, but I'm just going to set it on here and kind of try to visualize. I need this piece, this square, to tuck in. So when you're doing this, you want it to tuck in. So I know I'm doing this so that I can just visually see. I need that thinking of you to not go all the way across. So I'm going to stamp it right up here, right against this left-hand side of the square. So that was the tip that Susan gave, just to let you see and to let you know, don't stamp in this top corner. So we'll set that to the side. And see if I can get this straight. That's a little high, but I'm good with it. And then I'm going to bring in the other piece of 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and I'm going to bring in these sweet words. You've been on my mind. Oop. My comments are not rolling tonight, girls, so I'm not, if you have questions, I'm not seeing them. That's all the stamping on this card. Oh, and this we want, if you do this, if you decide to do this on your own, this piece we made it we wanted to make it smaller than this is 3 by 3, just because it makes it easier to hide behind. We don't want this peeking through. So I'm ready. I can bring my glue back in, and I'm gonna add just a little bit. That, and now we're ready to, I'll show you. I just think this is just such an easy card to make, and it's fun to make too. So there's the big die, and I love it that Stampin' Up! Is providing us with more and more dies that have that detail cut in there. You can see that it not only cuts, but it's got like impressions in it. Just kind of makes it a little bit more realistic. And then here's our skinny little piece of Blackberry Bliss. And I'm going to use very carefully, just teeny tiny. You know what probably would have been a good idea to use like our adhesive sheets. I didn't think about that till right now, but this will work. Just look, you can see how little I use. And then I figured out that those tiny, I know where those tiny points are, oh shoot, tiny points are supposed to lay. So it looks like that. And I'm going to put dimensionals on the back to pop it up. Oh, let's see. But I know the smarter way to do it is, before I laid this down on that piece, stuck it down, I guess I should say, and then I was sticking the leaves on under, trying to tuck them in. So, I'm going to set this to the side, and I'm going to bring this in. I'm going to put my leaves down first, and they are not on dimensionals. They're just glued down. So I'm just going to try to get them as close as I can. It was silly of me to, I don't know, it just makes more sense for me to do it this way. Struggling and trying not to, after I finally decided on the colors and everything, and then let's see, was having to pull up gently, you know, to try to get it and try not to tear it. So I thought, when I do this for you all tonight, I gotta make sure that I glue this down first. And it's okay that it hangs off, you know, the little square, layered square. So they look like that. And now I can lay down my pretty flower. Whoops. So it looks like that. And, oh, I did make this mistake. Okay, look, I don't want that dimension. I got to pluck that off. I don't want that dimensional on there, because then it'll hang on to, well, I guess it would have been okay. Let's see. I don't know. I was worried. Yeah, that would have been okay if I don't know. It's safer without it on. And then I'm going to go back and position this like I had it. Get it visually where I want it. And then I know I've got to I can add Stampin' Seal to this one. So it kind of looks lopsided like that, but once you tuck it in, looks good. So there's that. And then I'm going to put my inside piece down with Stampin' Seal. And it kind of gets tucked under there as well. Just a smidge. You could also put, girls, if you want it, and guys, if you want it, you could also, like if I had a very, I want to say like a subtle pattern, I would choose for this card, like a subtle pattern. You could layer that behind this white square. That would be another pretty thing to add to it. Let's see, on this, the ribbon that I chose, which I thought went so pretty with it, this is iridescent ribbon, and I just checked, and I think it's sold out. But I love that it's pretty, it's very pretty. It picks up, I think, like the tones, the purpley tones. So I'm sorry I'm using it. I'm sorry I'm using it. It's not available anymore, but if you have it, like I know probably Mary Teal, Valerie, and Lynn, you guys probably have it. This, I used about, let's see, I used about 14 inches. I don't usually tie bows like this where they go all the way around, but this is how Susan did it, so. Okay, this is easy. Just want to take your time, and I'm going to pull that taut. And then I'm just going to tie a knot. Get this out of the way. So I like to pull it a little bit tighter because you know it's going to loosen up just a little bit. And then I'm using my middle fingers and holding that down, that center piece. And then tying, you got to be really coordinated. Tying a nice taut knot, which gives the impression of being like a faux bow. And then I am going to bring in my glue dots. Oh, I'm almost done with these. There's one right there. I just like to anchor it down. It helps kind of secure it. So that's going to go underneath the knot. Like that. And that. Does it make sense? And then the last thing I'm going to do is, these are our iridescent basic pearls. So I'm just going to bring in my take your pick tool. Let's see, I think I used the tacky end of it. Originally I thought about using butterflies on this, but I like the way like the pearls match, because I'm all about the matching. The pearls match that ribbon, that pretty ribbon. And I always like to use odd numbers. And a tip that somebody gave me a long time ago is, I never knew where to put my embellishments, but it seems like it's pleasing to the eye if you put them kind of in a triangle shape. So that's the weird triangle shape, and it seems to work. So there it is. You've got this one done with the dies, and this one is fussy cut. I hope you try this. This is just an easy card to make, and it kind of looks fancy. And you could do it with all sorts of different, it doesn't have to be floral, you know. Pull out your die sets. It's kind of whatever would fit like in this little square. The other thing I think is you probably could play around with different sizes, you know, if you needed a larger shape, a larger, you know, if you wanted to put like a cluster of flowers here, you could probably use a larger square, you know, maybe like 3.5 by 3.5. That would be pretty too, but I'm really happy with the way this turned out. It was a fun afternoon of stamping. So I will go back in and look at the comments to see if I missed any questions. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can always leave a comment and I get back to you pretty quick. Or if you want to email me and you don't have a demonstrator in the United States, I would and you live in the United States, I would happy to be yours, and I'm happy to pop a catalog in the mail to you. I have had a couple of gals reach out to me and ask when our next catalog comes out. It comes out on, it's September through December. So we'll see more of the holidays in there. And so we always hold our breath as demonstrators. Not hold our breath, but it's like an exciting time for us. I think it's this Wednesday. We get to see the catalog online. This year, for all of you who are watching, I need you by the 31st to, if you would like to get a catalog in the mail, like if you live far, far away from me, it would help me if you made sure that you signed up and you had an online account. That way, it's an easy process for me to mail. Stampin' Up! Will mail a catalog for me to you. If you don't have an online account and you don't want any part of it, that's okay too. I just will need to know that you would like to have a catalog or get a catalog. We can either figure out a time for us to connect if you live close by, or if you come to my classes, you'll be getting probably the majority of the people that come to my classes will be picking up their new catalog probably at the class, and that probably will be the September class, unless you make arrangements to connect with me earlier. So that's a lot. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Thanks so much for supporting me. I greatly appreciate all of you. God's blessings. Bye-bye.